Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation.
All right, it's that time of the law where you head out and check in with our good friend Phillip Statler out at Statler Financial Services, and we get an update on what's going on with our markets today. Hey, Phillip, how are you?
Hey, Doug, it's good, man. Haven't talked to you in a long time. And
yeah, so, it's been quite some time.
Good to be back and chat with you for a little bit as we kind of look at what's happening in the markets. You know, yesterday was it was kind of an up and down day until the end, and then it really kind of went the right direction and ended up kind of a mixed bag for the most part. But the Dow was the only thing that was in the red, and that was just slightly in the red, like $11. So you can't complain much about that. That's pretty flat on the Dow Jones Industrial 30. It closed at 44,484. Like I said, down a whole $10.50. So, but on the other side of the coin, we had some nice numbers up. The S&P 500 had a nice jump, up almost 0.5%. That was $29. It closed at $6,227. So that's I think probably a new closing high for them. The NASDAQ did a nice job too, up almost 1%, $190 to close at 20,393. And let's not leave out the Russell 2000 because percentage wise, it was the big winner, up 1.3% yesterday, closed at $2,226. That was up almost $29 for yesterday. So it's always nice when we can close out the day mostly in the green. So that was what things looked like yesterday. And today's big news is, as we talked about yesterday with Dave, is that we had jobs reporting. When we talked on Wednesday, ADP came out and said we lost 33,000 jobs. And so there was an expectation that jobs would be down for this month, and that's just not the case. Non-farm payrolls actually rose by 147,000 in June and beat the forecast of 110. So that was good news on the labor front, and the futures loved it when that hit the marketplace. The other thing we look at is the unemployment rate. Unemployment rate was projected to be about 4.3%. It actually, with all those non-farm payroll increases, the unemployment rate fell to 4.1%. So good news across the board on the labor front. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects the Fed as they meet later this month to see if maybe interest rates will get cut just a little bit. On the other front, we had the trade deficit come out. It came out basically kind of as expected. So that good there. But like I said, as we got those numbers, the futures really started to bounce up. They've retreated a little bit since that point in time. We haven't talked about interest rates lately, Doug, and let's mention that. The 30-year Treasury now is sitting at 4.85%. On Monday, that number was sitting around 4.5%. So we've seen a pretty big jump in this week in interest rates. And that may not sound like a lot, but when we're talking about interest rates, that size of a jump is a substantial increase in interest rates for this week. Not much in the way of earnings yet. Again, we're the 3rd of July, and so we're just not getting much in the way of earnings reports yet. It's more about what are we seeing and the ups and downs. And one of the big things that I want to talk about is TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is getting a big pop this morning, up 9% right now. And it's on news that Wall Street Journal reported that the activist investor Starboard took a 9% stake in TripAdvisor. And so that's pushed that stock price up substantially this morning before it starts trading. On other news, we had Robinhood, the online broker, fell about 2% this morning after a big day yesterday. They rallied some 6%. They're really a leading candidate to replace. What's Bitcoin doing and what does that look like? Bitcoin's off this morning about a 0.5% from where it closed, but it's still up there. It's $108,897 per Bitcoin right now, which is still a pretty high number. It's been pretty volatile though, Doug. Has been up 109,000. I've seen it jump back down into the mid 90,000. So it's it's had its shares of ups and downs here recently. We don't have much else as we head into this holiday weekend. We do have next week. Let's see what next week does look like. We've got a few things coming out next week, but really not much even next week. The big week is going to be the week after that, when we start to get some economic numbers will come pushing our way, and we'll be implementing and basically having some effect on what the markets are going to look like. Other than that, Doug, I'm trying to find just any little bits and pieces that we can talk about, and that's really kind of the end of it right now as we look to see how we can close out this week. Heading into the 4th of July weekend, will people take money off the table going into this long weekend, or will they hang it out there and see what happens come Monday? So as we head into the futures, though, let's look at where we're at right now. Let me find the right button. Here we go. So right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 0.1%. The S&P 500 is up a little over 0.1%. The NASDAQ 100 is up almost 0.2%, and the Russell 2000 is up a little over 0.5% right now. On the other side, we've got the silver trading down a little over 0.1% right now. Gold down almost 1%. Crude oil yesterday had a big increase because I think it was about 64 or 65 when we talked yesterday. And right now it is at $67.38 a barrel. Not good news on that front, as I know I've noticed gas prices heading back up as I've driven by the gas pumps. On the other things we're looking at, Europe is all in the green right now. Anywhere from 0.3 to about 0.7% up as we get halfway through their day. Asia's kind of mixed this morning, and then we get into where we are today on the pre-market. So, hey, with that, remember that your retirement is important. And if you're getting close to retirement, Doug, if you're 5 years out, folks, the way you look at your portfolio needs to change, because now it's not about growing. It's about making sure that what you have is there for your retirement. And again, that's why I developed the core retirement design, to design the retirement folks need and can have the retirement they'd always dreamed of. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. Folks, that's really just a simple 30-minute phone call where you can ask me questions. We'll talk about it, see where you are, and see if we can help make sure you're on the right track to the retirement you always dreamed of. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
All right, Phil. Well, thanks for the update. It was good talking with you.
All right, buddy. You have a great 4th of July weekend, and God bless America.
You too. That's Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services.
Who likes uncertainty? Wall Street.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Have a very safe 4th of July. I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Bye now.